Okay, let's quickly get our heads around this one. Picture this. An individual, right, operating from her suburban home in Arizona, and somehow she manages to set up this scheme. It infiltrates, what, 309 American company?
309.
And funnels over $17 million directly to North Korea's weapons program. I mean, how does something like that even happen?
Seems almost impossible on the surface.
Exactly. So that's our mission today. We're going deep into this really complex and frankly surprising case. It's one of the largest North Korean-linked remote employment frauds ever prosecuted here in the U.S. We're going to dig into the sources, look at the mechanics, the sheer scale of it all, and the bigger picture implications for national security and even just how modern work, well, works.
Yeah, and what's really key here is that this isn't just some, splashy headline. This was planned meticulously. It exploited some very specific weak points, things in remote work setups, identity checks, even the global finance system. We'll try to connect those dots for you, show how one person's actions can genuinely ripple out globally, and what this case tells us about this evolving world of cybercrime and state-sponsored threats.
Okay, so let's start with the person at the center, Christina Marie Chapman. 50 years old, from Litchfield Park, Arizona. And the setup itself.
Yeah.
Well, the authorities, when they looked into it, it just got more and more wild. They called it a covert laptop farm.
Right. Operating from her house.
Just picture that. Dozens of computers all humming away, basically the nerve center for this whole global operation.
And the money involved. It's just staggering. Over $17 million. That's about, 142 crore?
Wow.
Laundered, sent overseas. Specifically, the sources say, to help North Korea. Now, Chapman pleaded guilty. This is back in February 2025. The charges were conspiracy to commit wire fraud, basically using tech for a scam.
Okay.
Aggravated identity theft, that's serious misuse of personal info. And money laundering conspiracy, so hiding where the money came from. The sentence reflects that. 102 months in federal prison, plus 3 years of supervised release afterwards.
And the reach, the sheer breadth of the impact.
Yeah.
It's just as shocking, really. Chapman's help allowed these North Korean IT workers to pretend they were U.S. employees. And they got inside 309 American companies. Think about that number.
It's huge.
And not just one sector either. It was tech, aerospace, automotive, media, retail. Pretty much across the board.
Yeah, the big takeaway there is the scale of this kind of economic espionage, how hostile states are now using our own open job market.
Right, as a way to get funding, maybe gather intelligence.
Exactly, it's a primary vector now. What makes this fraud so effective, though, isn't just the money, it's the methods, how they built up these layers of deception. It seems almost, mundane in parts. Chapman's main job, essentially, was creating the illusion, making it seem like these North Korean programmers were physically in the U.S.,
so they could land those high-paying remote jobs.
Precisely. They weren't just hacking their way in. They were, applying for jobs, doing interviews, getting hired like anyone else.
And it wasn't just digital smoke and mirrors either. There's physical evidence, right?
Oh, absolutely. The investigation found Chapman actually shipped physical hardware, laptops, other devices, things provided by the U.S. companies themselves.
She shipped them out.
49 of them, yeah, to foreign locations. And get this. Some ended up in a Chinese city right on the border with North Korea, specifically to help run these fake operations.
That really drives home how tangible this digital scheme actually was. It wasn't just code.
Then you have the financial side. It wasn't simple money transfer. It was intricate. Chapman forged payroll checks, used the stolen identities of 68 different Americans.
68 people's identities.
And the money earned, these fake wages, they weren't just wired somewhere obvious. They went through channels designed to hide the real source. And here's another layer. They even reported the earnings to the IRS, to Social Security.
To make it look legitimate.
Exactly. Build that veneer of legitimacy. It's this complex web designed to look completely above board.
Quite the setup. And the raid on her home back in October 2023, they found over 90 laptops?
Yeah, over 90. It just underscores the physical footprint of this digital operation.
Right there in a suburban house.
This wasn't some far-off, abstract attack. It had a base.
And the investigation involves some major players. FBI, IRS criminal investigation.
With support from the State Department, too. A multi-agency effort. So we've looked at the money, the physical stuff. But what about the why? The bigger implications? Well, U.S. officials are very clear on this. Schemes like Chapman's, they directly fund North Korea's weapons program.
So it's a direct national security threat.
Absolutely. It's not just fraud against companies, it's seen as state-sponsored economic warfare.
And drilling down into how they operated, it seems pretty targeted, right? Not just random job applications. Reports suggest these North Korean IT workers actually kept lists, target lists,
Yeah.
Fortune 500 companies. They were actively gaming the application process, trying to land those really valuable contracts.
So not just opportunistic, it was strategic, organized, clearly state-backed, aiming for maximum financial gain, which really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? What does this case tell us about how hostile nations operate now, how they get around sanctions, how they raise funds in this digital age? It's a stark lesson, really.
Weaponizing remote work itself.
Exactly. Turning our own gig economy, our flexible work structures, into a pipeline for their illicit funding and maybe intelligence gathering, too. It just highlights this critical need for constant vigilance.
So, okay, what does this mean for you listening? For businesses, for individuals trying to navigate the job market today.
Yeah.
The FBI and State Department, they've actually put out updated warnings based on cases like this one.
Yeah, they have specific advice now. For HR teams, for corporate security folks, basically they're saying you need much tighter checks on identity verification, employment history, all those virtual interactions.
Like video calls.
Especially video calls. Businesses are being told, look for anomalies. Be aware of AI-generated profiles, too.
You mean like deep fakes?
Potentially, yeah. Or just hyper-realistic digital avatars designed to fool you during an interview. These things are being exploited more and more in remote hiring.
It brings it home, doesn't it? This isn't just some far-off story about spies and complex fraud. It's about the real, evolving threats right here in the digital spaces we all use every day. And it shows how, even seemingly small shifts, like everyone working from home more, can be turned into weapons by sophisticated actors on a global scale.
Yeah, even something like a Zoom background. Suddenly it could be a clue, a potential flag.
Wild.
Stepping back a bit, the Chapman case, it really is a powerful example. It shows these sophisticated, often hidden ways that bad actors are exploiting our globalized remote work world. And it drives home how personal identity theft, things that might seem small scale, can actually have massive national security consequences when a nation state is pulling the strings.
So we've unpacked how one person orchestrating this covert laptop farm, shipping devices overseas, how that enabled a multi-million-dollar scheme, directly funding a nation-state's weapons program. It's just a really potent example of how linked our digital and physical worlds are now, and how vulnerable.
Absolutely.
So for you, the listener, we hope this deep dive gives you maybe a sharper awareness of the hidden risks that are just under the surface of our everyday online lives, and the incredible ingenuity, good and bad, that's always operating there.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with, something to chew on. We're seeing AI-generated profiles, more virtual interactions becoming standard. They're getting more realistic all the time. So what new vulnerabilities might be opening up right now? And maybe more importantly, how do we collectively start preparing for whatever the next version of this kind of sophisticated digital deception looks like?